revise whatever we had studied yesterday?
Yes, the concept was pretty strong. Actually, this is the first time I got to understand what an operating system is in relation to the rest of the computer. So yeah,
Okay, very nice. So how do I pronounce your name? Is Kojo or what's your name?
correct. Kojo, yeah. If you see Joseph Encho, that's me. Kojo Inc. I just cut it short so people will not recognize my real name on Facebook.
But your name is Joseph, right?
Yeah, yep, Joseph.
Okay, really nice. Okay, and other question is N Chunky. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correct. I don't know. Everybody has joined, but I mean, joined the group, joined the chat, but nobody is joining the class. George says my laptop is slow tonight. I'm joining. Java. Azuddin haven't joined. Okay. Hi, George.
Hi. Hi.
Sorry. I'm saying, did you have you done the revision of whatever we had studied yesterday?
Yes, yes, I did.
Okay, that's really nice. I think people are joining. We'll wait for 5 more minutes for everybody to join, and then we'll start. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 3 people have joined. Hello, am I audible? N Chunky, is it? This is how we pronounce your name, or what's it? What is it? Hello. Can you hear me? I can't hear you if you're speaking because I think your mic is on, but I can't hear you. George, can you hear the other person speaking?
No, I can't.
Okay. Can you write down into the chat if it's not working for you? If you are not able to, can you hear us? So, Leslie, what you have to do is you have to remember what I told you yesterday. That let me explain it again. That
Harsh, you can share your screen and they can see what are you doing. Yeah, like this.
yeah, I have. So, can you see Leslie here that this particular button? Once you'll click on this one, it will ask you to give the microphone permissions. This microphone permission. Can you see something like this? I hope you guys are able to see my screen.
Yes, I see Linux.
Okay. Okay. Please, is it working for you? I mean, now can you try to speak, please? I think now, no, your mic isn't working. Okay, it's fine. So now we had understood yesterday about the concept of operating system, and then after that we have understood that okay, there are many operating systems which are available. Now, what Linux is very important for us to understand because Linux is going to help us boost in our career. Because whatever we do in technology, right? Even if you go in the development side, even if you go, we can say in the cloud or you become cloud engineer, DevOps engineer, it will always going to help you. Okay, Ajudin, don't worry, we have just started. We haven't gone too far till now. Okay, so I'll repeat again that we are going to start learning about Linux. And how many of you have any idea about Linux or can talk about Linux? Anyone or anyone who has used or something like that, even for one time you have used or what you have felt when you hear the term Linux? Anyone? Anyone? Linux is open, we can say open operating. You don't say open operating, you say like open source operating system.
And I'll add to that, Linux was discovered by, was a language created by Linus Torvalds, and it
Linux.
was developed out of Unix language.
Okay, now let's first of all understand this thing. So many of you had a doubt. Unix and Linux. First of all, let us try to understand the basic difference between these two. What is Unix and what is Linux, right? So it was developed and created in, you can say, 1960, and this was in 1991. Means there was a 31 years of a gap in this particular thing, right? It is, and this is not an Unix is not an open source. It is, you can say, originally closed source. Means you have to like uh, pay for it, or that service was not free, right? Closed source. The code was not visible, you can't do anything, you can't modify. But Linux is open source. Okay, and open source, it means that let's suppose if you are planning to start your own operating system, but what's the major functionality of an operating system? That it should communicate with the hardware, right? It should communicate with your hardware. So in that particular case we need kernel. So kernel allows us to do the communication with the hardware. So if you have the code available over the internet, or if anybody can use that particular code, right, then the major part is done. You can create your own distributions. That's why so many of you would have heard of these terms: Ubuntu, Fedora, Debian, Kali Linux. I hope you guys have heard of these names, or anyone have heard any one name from this.
Yes, all of them are Linux flavors.
Okay, so all of these are the Linux flavor, means these are the, we can say, different Linux operating systems available. So because the code is available over the internet, you can use it, you can modify it, you can create whatever you want to create out of that, right? Some versions are
Yes.
some versions are like open source in Unix, and Linux is completely open source and free to use, modify, and you can distribute to others as well, right? Uh, so Linux is, we can say, the kernel of just a second. Somebody's typing. Okay. Just a second, I'll help Tajuddin. Tajuddin, are you here? Tajuddin, are you here? Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, okay, that's very nice.
Okay.
I think everybody's here. I've just started. I just talked about that Unix is developed in 1960, and Unix was we can say developed in 1960, and Linux was developed in 1991. It's an open source. This is a closed source. Okay, so this is a basic functionality of, you can say. Can you mute yourself, please? I think so. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Yes. So yes, very nice. There was no big, we can say, difference between these two. But for us, what happened that, again, just a second, let me use another whiteboard. This is not working. Okay. So yes, so Unix laid the foundation for us, right? Just a second. Okay. Yes. So Unix laid the foundation for us, right? And you can say Linux was inspired from Unix, right? So there is no we can say nothing much difference between these Unix and Linux. It's just this is the, we can say, closed source, this is open source, and this is the better version, because so many people have created, we can say, Linux multiple distributions. So it is very vast nowadays, and very, we can say, vast topic to understand. So how many of you have understood the term open source? Has anybody have any problem with the term open source? Anyone? Anyone who has understood what is open source? Are you guys able to see my this terminal? This other web page which I've opened,
Yes.
GitHub, right? So if I click here, so this is a repository, right? Repository means where you have the code, and this is the guy who has developed Linux, who has created Linux. So he has whole code available to everyone. So you see, Linux kernel. There are several guides for kernel development and users. These guides can be, we can say, rendered in a number of formats like HTML and PDF. Please read documentation, admin guide, readme.rst first. In order to build the documentation, use make HTML docs or make PDF doc. The formatted documents can also be read online at this particular page. There are various text files in the documentary, right? So you can download this particular code. This is the whole code for your Linux kernel, and which is available to everyone, right? It's available to every one of you. If you understand coding, if you want to, I mean, do something with this one, you can see this code and you can download here from here. That downloads it file. So that's Linux for you. I'll paste this particular thing into the chat as well, so that if somebody wants to take reference from here, right?
Thank you.
Okay, anytime. And I've pasted it into the WhatsApp group also if you forgot. So you can get from there as well. Okay. Now let's suppose now all of us, or maybe some of you, might have a, we can say, very basic knowledge of what Linux is, or you would have just, you can, whenever you think of a Linux, you think of a terminal where some people are writing command, right? So, so we should understand the philosophy of, we can say, Linux first of all, right? So first of all, Linux is just like in another operating system like Windows we have talked about yesterday, right? You install, you have hardware, on top of that you have an operating system, right, which is your, we can say, Linux based operating system, right? And which is, now we know it's an open source. Now what is this distributions, or somebody call it flavors? Anyone who has any idea about distributions slash flavors? Anyone has any idea about this thing, distribution flavors?
Yes.
Ubuntu
Yeah.
is a flavor of Linux.
Sorry.
Ubuntu.
Okay, so let me write down here whatever we have talked about, like Ubuntu, Debian. These are the flavor, or you can say, distributions. Now, what is these distributions are? Let's say somebody created, or somebody has taken the code, Linux kernel code, and then they added, we can say, some more functionality like graphical user interface, right? More functionality to the terminal, more functionality, right? So now this whole thing makes a new, we can say, operating system. So they call it, like some people call it Kali. Let's suppose Kali Linux. Let's take an example for Kali Linux. So hackers, or we can say people who are working in cybersecurity, knows what is, we can say, Kali Linux, right? So Kali Linux is built for, we can say, people who are into cybersecurity field, or if somebody wants to do some hacking, white hat hacking, talking about, right? So you can use the Kali Linux. And someone like us who is just starting and who wants to learn about servers, right? In that particular case, we use like Ubuntu or Red Hat Linux, right? So we, which does the basic functionality for us, which we have to perform, like we have to host a web server, or do the, we can say, some more Linux tasks. So Ubuntu is good for us. If somebody, or if you guys, let's suppose, understand Linux and you are good, and if you have like six months of experience in Linux, for at least 6 months, you guys have tried your hands on Linux operating system, then you try the toughest Linux, which is Arch Linux. Means it has very nice functionality. You can modify anything, you can do whatever you can to this particular Linux, but don't touch it in the starting. You can do it after you have an idea about what this particular thing is, what Linux is. Okay, I hope you guys will follow this instruction. Okay. Okay, now how do you choose a distribution? You will say that, okay, Harsh, if now we have to start learning about Linux, so we have to, I mean, choose the operating system as well, right? Choose the distribution as well. So let's suppose I'll give you the, we can say, example. There's Ubuntu, there is Linux Mint. For beginner, I'm saying Mint, and we have Fedora, Debian, and CentOS. Okay. So first of all, Ubuntu is very user friendly, right? It is widely supported and has, we can say, good documentation part. Documentation of Ubuntu Linux is very nice. They have maintained the whole documentation very nicely, right? And this Linux Mint is based on Ubuntu only. It is a lighter version of your Linux operating system, and you can use it, right? Known for its we can say, use, and we can say, smooth learning curve. If somebody starting with the, we can say, Linux also, so because it gives you feeling of like good graphical user interface, so you don't feel like you have switched from Windows to Linux. So it's good to use that as well. Fedora, known for its, we can say, cutting edge features, and we can say stability. Fedora is very stable Linux, and it's very, we can say, it has very nice features. And this particular Debian is known for its, we can say, robustness and wide range of software packages. So many software packages are available. This is ideal for server environments, right? Based on RHEL, which is Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Okay. Now this is, we can say, basic idea about Linux, and this is what a theory we can call it, right? How did it got created? What is distribution? What all other things are, right? Anyone has any doubt in this one, you can ask. Then I will move to the another subtopic. Anyone has any doubt? Please, guys, make sure you ask questions if you have. If you won't ask the questions, then how would you know? Is it clear? Even yes or no will be fine. Is it clear what we have talked about till now?
Yes.
Okay. George, is it clear to you? Hello, George?
Yes, it's clear. It's clear.
Okay, Tajuddin and Larry and everybody else also.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I hope it's clear. Very nice. Now let's dive into our, we can say, Linux operating system. Okay. So now, just a second. Okay. So when I've written something like this, what you guys understand from this thing? Anyone? Huh?
The first one is executable. Executable. That's
Sorry.
Those are sound.
it's executable.
What table? Tajuddin, your voice is like not properly. I mean,
Okay. I'm saying what I said in the exe
yeah.
means executable. That means the file is executable file.
Yes, yes. Correct. So I'm saying in general, what you can call these things. What are these?
Files.
Extension.
Yes, these are extensions. George, this is known as, we can say, file extensions. So from looking at these, you identify that, okay, yes, this is .exe means executable file. This is a video file. This is an image. This is some document, Word document or something like that. So that's correct. So if I double click on an executable file, what will happen? It will ask me to install the application. When I open a .mp4 file in my operating system, what will happen? It will open a video player where I can run the video. If .image will give me the image preview. So because with their extension, we understand the functionality. Now, somebody will ask, why am I explaining when we were talking about Linux? Because now the picture comes where we need to understand that, let's suppose, what extension does an operating system has? Even Windows, even Linux, what kind of an extension that has? Means, let's suppose what we have done, we went to market and we bought a laptop, right? So it was so simple. But how, if you have to install some operating system in your, we can say, laptop from scratch? So what's the process? Does anybody have any idea about it? Anyone? George, Joseph, Larry, Rajuddin? Anyone has any idea?
We will install the file extension, right?
I mean, what's the basic functionality? I mean, if you have any idea, like let's suppose if I go to Google and I have to download an operating system, it will download it for me because Linux is free. So I can download any Linux distribution. But tell me one thing, which particular extension does it use? Or let's say you go to anyone and you say that, okay, I want to download an operating system. So they will tell you download an
Install.
ISO file. So now what is this ISO file? So this is an extension of an operating system's image, right? So we call it ISO image. Let's suppose the step is to download an Ubuntu Linux, right? So what will I call? Ubuntu .iso you need to download in your system. And what is this .iso? And this is the compressed version of your operating system. Means when you follow the process to install this operating system, so whatever needed to run an operating system, it will install. Even the Linux kernel, all the libraries, all the file system, and everything will be installed, right? So we will now download the Ubuntu in your operating systems, right? So I'll give you guys just a second. We will go here and we will just say Ubuntu download. We will click here on download Ubuntu desktop, and this is the latest version 24.04. Hope you guys have received the link into the chat. Here also and WhatsApp as well, I will paste so that if somebody wants to refer. I'll write the text also for Ubuntu download. Okay. So I hope you guys are able to refer to this particular URL. And once you click here, download 24.04, right? You don't have to sign up or anything. It will automatically start your download. You see, Ubuntu has been started downloading 5.7 GB of file. So make sure everybody download this particular file. Did you guys started the download? Is it working for everyone?
Yeah, I'm getting to it now. 24.04 LTS. Okay.
Yeah. Anybody else? Is it working for you guys?
Yeah, it's downloading.
Downloaded?
Yeah, it's taking some time.
Okay. So, I mean, please make sure you guys confirm it in the, we can say, chat if it's working for you guys, right? If you guys have downloaded it.
Your computer is fast. Do you have it downloaded already? Did you download it before the class or something?
No. I have already have it. I mean, right now.
Okay. I was about to say, ooh, my computer is slow. Yeah, it's downloaded for me.
Okay. Anybody else? Is it downloaded? So can you guys check the last name of that particular file? The extension?
I don't. I can't see it on my system.
Sorry?
I thought you sent it. You asked us to download it.
Yes, you have to download it. You're not able to download it?
No. I can't even find it. What you sent?
Yeah, you can't see the link which I've shared into the chat.
I can't see it on the chat. What I'm saying.
It's right there. It's the last link in the chat area.
In the chat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says,
Even in the WhatsApp group also I've shared, so you can take from anywhere. In the WhatsApp group also I have shared.
I'll put a check
I
mark.
already see. Thank you for downloading Ubuntu desktop 2404 LTS.
Yes.
That
24.
link?
Yeah.
Eh?
Yes. Can you click on download, Rajni?
Download.
Okay, that's really nice. I hope everybody is able to download. Larry, are you also able to download it? Because we can't hear you.
Sorry, excuse me. I can't find the download button.
Okay, Joseph, is it downloaded for you? George, is it downloaded for you?
No, it's not.
My download is going. It's 5.7 gigabytes, so it will take some time.
But I mean, it has started, right? I mean,
Correct.
it has started
Yeah.
for everyone.
It's going.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about that because anyways we will require it from tomorrow, right? Now
Yeah.
what we need to do is you just don't worry about the concept which I'm going to talk about right now, but just download it. But when we are going to talk about virtualization, I will explain this to you guys. Don't worry about that. Just I am going to share a link. How many of you? I hope everybody is using Windows operating system. Can you type yes or no? Larry, you also please write a text. Are you guys using Windows operating system?
Yes.
Everyone? Yes. Joseph said yes. George, are you also using Windows operating system?
No.
What are you using?
I'm using Windows.
You are using Windows, right?
Yes.
Yes, that's what I'm asking. Okay. George says yes. Larry, you also using Windows. Tajuddin?
Yes?
Okay. And what's the other person's name? I mean, I'm not able to trapping. I see on the WhatsApp also trapping aggressively. What's your name? With the name person who has joined with the name Live CID. I hope you have also started downloading it. Nana, is it you?
Excuse me.
Okay, no problem.
On the page, on the download page,
Okay.
I can see.
Okay. Now the next thing, just a second. Now the next thing which we have to download is this thing. VMware Workstation 17 Player. Right. So this will allow us to run we can say Linux operating system on our Windows only, right? So we'll click here on download now. So you might have to log in. Just a second.
Can you drop the link in the chat?
I haven't dropped a link. Just a second.
Okay.
What's wrong with this one? I don't know. I'm just gonna share the link. I don't know what's happening. Toolbox download. Okay, so I hope you guys can see this page, VirtualBox page. I'm sharing the link to this particular page. So once you click on this page, you will see something like this. You have to just click on Windows hosts. You have to just click on Windows hosts. Can you guys confirm? Are you guys able to do it? Are you guys able to click on Windows hosts?
Windows host. Okay. Hold on.
Yeah, it will start the download for you guys. George, Rajuddin, Larry, are you able to do it?
So, excuse me. I think I have this one on my laptop before. Do I need to download it again?
No, it's fine. If you have it already, you don't have
Yes. Okay.
to. George,
No, actually, I joined with my phone. I'm not able to do it at the same time listening because I'm having some trouble logging in with my computer. I don't know what's going on.
okay.
Nothing. To,
So
no.
for your future references, I'm pasting in the WhatsApp group. So if you need any of these URLs, so you will be able to find it in the chat of WhatsApp. Okay.
Okay.
So I've mentioned the names as well. That which link is for what use case. You guys can take reference from that as well. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Sounds good. Give me a second. Please, can you guys confirm or somebody is facing problem with downloading VirtualBox? Let me know. Otherwise, I believe everybody would have started the right.
Yeah, the virtual box is easy to download. It's quick. I guess it's smaller.
Yes, VirtualBox is a, we can say, small file. It's only 150 MB, so you guys can start using that. Okay, so now what things we have downloaded? We have downloaded VirtualBox and we have downloaded, we can say, an ISO image. Now, if anybody system has completed the download of, we can say, of that Linux operating system, so you will have something like this: Ubuntu.iso dot ISO, right? So can you guys, see it? Ubuntu.iso file you will find on your system. Okay. Now the next thing, we have downloaded VirtualBox. Okay. So these two things will download, right? So when you'll be coming in tomorrow's class, we will have these two things with you. Now, what do we have to do? Now, let me design an architecture that this represents hardware, this represents my OS, or you can call it host OS, which is in your case Windows operating system. And here we have VirtualBox, and here we have Ubuntu. Okay. Now, how many of you have understood what I'm trying to say with this particular layer-based diagram?
I think what you're trying to say is basically on the hardware,
Yes.
you have we have the host, the Windows on top of the Windows operating machine. We are installing two virtual servers, the VirtualBox and also the Ubuntu ISO. And the
Okay.
OS, the host OS makes it possible for us to be able to do this.
Okay. Yes, definitely. Till this point, you are correct. But this is not a, we can say, VirtualBox is not a server. It will help in virtualization. Means it will allow us to run multiple operating system on a single hardware or on a, we can say, single, we can say, operating system. The host operating system, you'll be able to run multiple operating systems. You can install Ubuntu, you can use Linux Mint, whatever you want to use. If you want to use Windows Server also. So these are the different types of, we can say, operating systems you can use with the help of VirtualBox. So VirtualBox is, we can say, virtualization technology. Just for now, just understand of it this as a virtualization technology, which allows you to run multiple operating system on a single hardware.
Okay,
Anyone?
it makes sense. It makes
Okay.
sense. Thank you.
Yes. So anyone has any question regarding this? So first of all, tomorrow we will install VirtualBox, and on top of VirtualBox, we are going to see how can we create an operating system like Ubuntu. Right. In our case, we will be using Ubuntu only. So I hope is it clear, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. That's really nice. Now, once we have installed it, once we have downloaded it, now what is the next thing which we have to understand? What do you guys think? Anyone?
So after installing, we have to initialize or test it.
After installing it, we need to understand how can we use this operating system. How can we
Okay.
learn writing commands? So to write commands, to learn commands, I hope you guys are able to see my the screen, which is terminal. You guys are able to see my terminal.
It's not. It's tiny. It's very tiny.
Sorry,
It's very tiny.
Yes, I see it.
George, can you see it? Larry, can you see it? Okay, that's nice. So now, what right now you're when you will install the Linux operating system tomorrow, you will have good graphical user interface and everything like that. But what I want you guys to understand here is that Linux terminal will work same for everyone. So I want you guys to understand the essential commands. Essential commands means which are very important, right? So let's say I'll tell you the 7 commands so that you can identify. Okay, I will ask questions, so you have to just answer those questions. If I have a Windows operating system and I have a folder XYZ, right? So if I have to check that, okay, what location I am in right now. So how do you check the location? Windows operating system already shows you on the top, there is a bar in which it is the full location is written, right? Do you agree or not? Have you seen something like that?
Yes, that's how it is in Windows.
Sorry?
Yes, that's what the Windows looks like. It shows you on the top.
Yes. It shows you on the top that, okay, which particular file you are in. But here I'm in this Linux terminal. How do I identify which folder I'm in, what's my location right now? It's not possible, right?
No.
I can't see it. If I click here on something, it doesn't show me anything. So the first thing which we have to learn the command is pwd. So if I type pwd, I will give you the list of commands also. Don't worry about that. Okay. So it says I am on this home/home/ubuntu location. Okay. So what's the command? Pwd. What's the job of pwd?
To give location, to show location, present location.
Yes. So it prints the present working directory. That okay, in which directory you are in right now. Let's suppose I have to check how many folders and files are available here. What command I can run? I can run ls, which stands for list. Do you see there's the folder named as project? At this location, there is only one folder, which is project. So pwd and ls is a command. Now we know that we have to run commands and we have to perform some task. But before that, I would also want to ask you guys one more thing. Yes. In your system, you might have location like this: downloads, Then you have like some folder XYZ, something like that. But here in the Linux, what's happening that you guys are able to see something like this. So now, what is this particular file structure? What is this forward slash here? What does it look like? For that, we need to understand the file system of Linux. We need to understand the file system of Linux. So, what do you think is the main file you think of when we, or a main folder when you think of a Windows operating system? Which is the main, we can say, folder for you? Anyone? Okay, just tell me if you agree or not. Do you guys agree?
Yes, the local disk, C
Yes.
directory.
Yes. George, do you agree? Have you seen something like this in your Windows operating system?
Yes.
Tajuddin,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Larry, and other person as well? Okay. So I think everybody agrees on that. So now we need to find out what's the primary file in, we can say, Linux. We call it a forward slash. And it's known as, we can say, root directory. Means the parent directory in your Linux file system is root, which represents forward slash. But then you will say, Harsh, this next forward slash is also that only? No. If in your file name, if something is starting from forward slash, it means there is a root folder. Linux file hierarchy we have to understand, because that's very important, and that sometimes people feel very complex, but I will try to make it as much easy as possible. So this forward slash is the main directory. Now inside it, you will have multiple files which are required to run this operating system. There will be bin folder, there will be etc folder, there will be library folder, right? There will be this home folder, right? And all these files will have, we can say, multiple subfolder files available, right? Something like this hierarchy will be followed. But to represent the main location here, we call it forward slash, right? So forward slash means this file is present in the root directory. So now, if I write something like this, okay, this question is for you guys. If I write something like this, okay, can anybody help me understand? Okay, first of all, I will explain, then I'll give you more questions. So this forward slash home forward slash Ubuntu, what does that mean? If I have anything here of this particular first forward slash, that represents
The roots directory.
root directory. It represents the root directory. And what these other, we can say, let's suppose if I have any test folder, inside that test2 folder, I have so and so on folders. So what these forward slashes are, these are, you can say, directory separator, so that you can understand that, okay, yes, there are multiple separator. So directory separator means it is saying inside a home directory, there is a folder which is Ubuntu. Inside Ubuntu, there is a folder name as test. Inside test, there is a folder name as test2. Okay. So now, okay. Now, what is the difference between these two particular locations? Anyone?
In the first one, I think they are located in the root directory.
Okay.
In the second one, they are located in the project directory, I'm thinking.
Okay. Okay. So now you know that, okay, this particular thing is present in the root directory because of this forward slash. You identified it. But when I say there is no forward slash and there is direct this folder name is starting, so it means your present working directory is this folder. You are inside this folder, and inside this folder you will have test2. Inside that folder you will have test1. And inside that folder you have test5. So your present working directory will be this particular project, and this particular test 5 is the last folder which you can be in, right? So if I'm in test 5, the location will start like this. That there's a project folder which is there on some particular location. Okay. So I hope now you guys have basic idea about, we can say, understanding the file structure. Okay. What this PWD does, it will show me in which directory I'm working. What ls will do, it will list all the files and folders which are available. Now, when I did ls, I run the command ls, I see a folder named as project, right? If I have to go inside this particular folder, because if it was a file, it will have an extension .exe, .txt, something like that. But I can surely say that this is a project, is a folder. Now, I want to go inside this folder. How do you do in Windows operating system? You just double click on a folder. Oh, but here it's not possible. Not possible at all. So, what do you think? Anyone? CD command. Yes, Larry says CD command. So CD command stands for change directory. CD, it means change directory. Now I want to go to this project folder. So what I will say, I will write the name of project folder, project. If I just, let's suppose I've written this small PRO and then I hit the tab button, so it will automatically take the folder name. And now if I hit enter, it says that I'm into the project folder. Now, if I just do like pwd, so it says in the /home folder, you are into /ubuntu folder and you are here into the project folder. If I do ls here, I see these three files, templates, app.py, and we can say this thing. So these three files are there, right? So what is this? Anyone?
This question again, sir.
This will allow us to list the file. Okay. Now let's come back to the whiteboard again. Okay. Now, what ls does? Anyone?
To give the files, busy files.
Yep. Yep. It
List
lists them. Lists
files
all
and
the files.
what this will do?
Present.
It shows your present working directory.
Yes, it shows you the present working directory. So it will print the present working directory. It will print your present working directory. What it will do?
It will change directory.
Change directory. Okay. Now, here I'm going to write one command and you have to tell me that if it will run fine or not. Okay, so if I run this, what will be the output?
It will print the current working directory.
Okay. George,
So that should
on that. Yeah, okay, that's it. George,
so that should be project, right?
Sorry.
It will print the current working directory, which is project.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yes, George, what do you think? George, are you there?
Actually, to print the project that we want to be in, we just need to type the name and valid.
Okay, so PWD George will print what folder are you in right now. It will print the present working directory. It will not move into something. You use CD. So Larry has mentioned that okay, it will show you like /home /ubuntu /project. That's okay. Ajudin, what do you feel? What this command will do?
It will show the directory of the project.
Okay, so let's experiment. Do you want me to hit enter? Okay. It says command not found. So what's the change you guys see here?
Oh, that one is a capital letter.
Yes. So Linux is a case sensitive language. What is the meaning of this case sensitive language?
Yes.
Yes. So
Yes.
it will consider this and this as two separate commands.
Okay.
So even if you have written P capital and WD small, still it will give you error. Linux is a case sensitive operating system. What is the meaning of case sensitive? Means for Linux, this one and this one, this one and this one, two different commands. This and this will be two different commands. This and this will differ the other commands. So what Linux is? Linux is case sensitive. You can't run capital L and capital S to list all the objects. You have to run the small l and small s. Okay, so everything will be in lowercase, and make sure whatever folder name or anything if you are creating. So the best practice which Linux says is you should use all small caps. You can use the capital letters also, but it's fine. Now let's say pwd. I'm into this particular directory. Now what I need to do is I need to move back into the previous directory, which was Ubuntu. So how can I go back into that particular directory?
CD.
CD, the directory name.
But let's say if I do ls, I don't see any folder named as Ubuntu. If I say ls, that's what you guys are saying, that I want to move to Ubuntu. So I should write like this. What it says Ubuntu, no such file directory, because what location you are in right now is project. Inside project, there is no folder which is named as Ubuntu. Ubuntu is a one folder back. It was in the previous location. This /home, Ubuntu, and /project. So now there is no other folder named as Ubuntu. You have to go one folder back. So to go one folder back, you use command cd space dot dot.
What?
So if I go here and if I write cd dot dot, now if I do pwd, I see /home /Ubuntu. Understandable?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So cd space dot dot is to come out of a folder, right? For the previous folder. And cd directory name is to go inside that particular folder. Okay. I hope these 5 commands are clear to you. Cd dot dot, pwd, ls, and what other else we have? No, I think it's 4 only. 1, 2, and this particular 3 and 4. Cd dot dot and cd. These are the 4 commands which we have understood and which is very basic to understand and learn. Do as much as experiments you can do with this one. Now, somebody will say that, Harsh, let's create a new folder. No, teach us how to create a new folder. For that, we will use mkdir. It means make directory.
Directory.
Yeah. So what? Let's suppose class. I want to give a name folder name class. I will say enter. So now it says it has created. No error. It means the output is completed. If I do ls now, so I see a folder name as class as well. You guys agree? I can see the folder class. If I have to go into the folder class, how can I navigate to this location?
CD class space class. Yes.
/ yeah.
Okay, there is no folder inside class, but I am here in the class folder. /home /Ubuntu /class. If I have to create here one folder, let's say students. So if I do ls, now there's a folder name as students. If I have to go into the students folder, I have to just say cd space students. Now if I do pwd, so you see this is the whole location where I'm in right now. Any doubt, any question?
It makes sense.
Okay. I am writing in the WhatsApp chat the commands so that you guys can remember, you guys can review it, or at least do the revision. Okay. I hope you guys are able to see in the WhatsApp group these 5 commands. So for the initial purpose as in when we are starting with Linux, so it might feel little heavy that, okay, what are we doing? Is it, how can I remember these 2 commands? But once you come in practice and you do, like, every day you write commands, you do work on Linux, right? So how does it help you? It helps you to remember those commands. Anyone has any doubt, anything in today's class till now? Please ask.
I have a question.
Yes.
At some point, I had to shut down my computer, reboot my computer to and come back. I don't know how. Uh, I didn't get the chance to see how what you did to actually get to this window where you were tapping the command. What
Okay.
did you do to get there?
Okay, so that process you have to ignore because for you guys, we will install Linux operating system tomorrow. So you don't have to worry about that. I just consider it as I for your practice board. I opened some Linux and I started doing that. And how to get to this point, that is for tomorrow's class. That's why I have asked you guys to download these two files. One is VirtualBox and one is Ubuntu. I've shared in the WhatsApp group. So once you complete that download, then you will also be using your own Linux operating system. But what I have focused more today is on the commands and to understand what Linux operating system is. You can watch the recording as well if you have missed